the top down. I was driving back from Fort Lauderdale, like dancing. Hi, everybody. Dr. Gabby here, your thug life from another life. God, I'm delirious, man. I got off the plane at like midnight last night from Atlanta. I didn't even get home until like 1 a.m. And then had a quick turnaround to work with a client today. We're developing out his business. He's doing retreats. He's publishing a book. He's publishing a journal. He's buying a retreat center. I mean, wow, like we're really just doing so much. But as you know, I'm super passionate about writing, coming out with a book, and I love supporting others in their writing. And we have 4 more days left in my 40s, I think. Let me check the calendar. I'm a little bit nervous. So yeah, I mean, Monday's kind of finished. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's kind of like 3 days I have left.
3 days, and you turned 50, and none of this makes any sense at all. Today is my brother's birthday too. Happy birthday, Todd.
Oh, happy birthday, Todd. I got to see Todd in Atlanta there. We went out and talked about all the things being an entrepreneur and leaving the comfort zone, leaving the 9 to 5. That was a good chat we had in Atlanta. I also went to a conference in Atlanta, a 3-day women consulting corporate live conference, which was extraordinary. Shout out to Liz Simpson, who just really just like blew the roof off, man. It was one of the most stunning events that I've ever been to. So that was pretty amazing.
Listen, that is like saying a lot too, because you've been to more events than like literally any human I know. And you are insanely critical of them because you have thrown them, you have done them, you have whatever. And like the amount that you've been blown away by this is amazing.
Yeah. So I feel like my heart is full and my life is full at the moment. And so I mentioned that I was just at my client's house and he gave me a present, 50 things to do when you turn 50. And he said that he had gotten a gift on his 40th birthday of 40 things to do when you turn 40 and that it was super fun and that he actually went through and did them. So interestingly enough, the first one on the first page is stay funny.
Well, you're doing that, my friend. You're doing that.
Approach aging with humor and recognize that with acceptance of age comes power. So yeah, so I think that that's a great first step.
You can check that box.
Staying funny. Let's see if it says anything else about staying funny. Geez Louise. I don't know. Oh, there's curse words. I'm not going to say the curse words. Okay. And then with it also, he gave me this beautiful card that says happy birthday. Oh, and then he says, the world is a better place because you were born today.
Oh,
thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. I wish you nothing but laughs, joy, and fun. Cheers to another 50 years. It was so funny because I was with Gigi and Julia when I was in Atlanta and they were like, here's to another 50 years. And I was like, oh God, don't say that. I was like, I'm tired. They're like, you're tired? And I was like, I'm tired.
You're just getting warmed up.
Another 50 years? Oh my goodness, right? But anyway, Jamie, tell the people who you are. I mean, they probably know, but
I am Jaime Nolan. I'm a life and business coach, and that shirt is amazing. And I run a community called the Anima Collective, and it's where entrepreneurship and soul development meet. So it's always about like bringing really cool people into the community and being able to really, you know, showcase what you do well and how you do it. And I'm always like super passionate about like getting people to understand what their zone of genius is and like how to make that really work.
What's your zone of genius?
I think my zone of genius is connecting people. And like big picture planning, like seeing stuff, like really like visionary stuff is my like get it, and convincing people that they want to do the thing they want to do. My zone of genius is getting other people in trouble. That's it.
Getting people to have a little bit more fun.
A little bit more fun, to appreciate what they have and what they're doing and stop, you know, being annoying to themselves. I think that's the best part.
And speaking of what you're doing, you're getting on a plane at 6 a.m. or whatever tomorrow.
I'm getting on a plane at 6 a.m. tomorrow to head to Santa Fe ahead of you to meet up with my dad and his girlfriend and hang out for a couple of days in Santa Fe. And then acquire you from on your birthday and start celebrating. So I will be there first. I'm super excited to get to Santa Fe and to like I don't know, move into the magic. I think like going on this trip is like such a cool way to bring in 50 and like going to MEA and doing all the things. It's gonna be really
Shout
cool.
out to Modern Elder Academy that's hosting us for my birthday. It was a present for winning the writing contest. And yeah, Time Magazine just came out with the 2024 greatest place to visit, and MEA is on the list. Just saying.
And we are going.
Just saying. We're going to one of the greatest places for the birthday celebration.
Can we like talk a little bit about the manifestation of this?
We can.
I think so when we heard about this contest, like I heard about it on a podcast and Gabby heard about it on in Chip Connolly's newsletter. And the thing that's like super interesting was like both of us are like, oh, we're gonna win. Right? Like and like totally not either one of us
independent of each other, right?
Independent
of each other. Yeah.
In that independence of each other, we were like, oh, we're gonna win. And then we photoshopped ourselves. Like, I cannot wait to take that picture. We photoshopped ourselves like at the dining room table at Emmy. We did it at the Baja one, but we're going to Santa Fe, but we're still taking that picture. And it's such a cool like like, hey, like you have this thought in February or whatever we heard this, and then it's like, oh, now we're really going.
Yeah, in 3 days. In 3 days. Yeah, so we'll be stargazing and we'll be singing around the campfire and we will be walking and meditating and swimming and
learning some stuff from Chip Connolly himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're so lucky. We're so lucky to have such a good crew that we're taking with us as well, like the people that are going to be traveling with us and having this experience together. That was another reinforcement at this conference that I was at this week, was just like the way that community just like amplifies your own growth and your own momentum, really. I mean, we've been calling this the 30 days of momentum, kind of leading up to the birthday, and that collective energy is so powerful.
It is. And I think that like there's so much to that, like being in those spaces that you can feel. I think like one of the things that you were saying is like I don't know how often I've felt this, right? But like the idea of like stepping into where people have done the things that you want to do. People have like are like really in their zone of genius, like really in their space of like excellence and like going towards things that are, what they really, really want, and like being able to feel that is like, really important.
As you're talking, I'm thinking about like the quantum field. We talk about woo-woo circles a lot, this quantum field. It's almost like the energetic vibration of being with like 150 other women who were all standing in their power, in their authenticity. And it's almost like it created a quantum field, because I actually like physically felt different in that room. And I've felt that in a few places, like a little bit here and there, but there was something about this that it just had so much more depth, because there was a real holistic presence. Like, sometimes we go to like Tony Robbins or something and it's a lot of like rah peak performance. This wasn't just that. This was like bringing in the spiritual. It felt like a combination of conference and church and being at the club with the music. It was kind of like all those pieces all mixed together, which is what I think you and we've been doing this. Like we always, like, even on these 30 days that we've been on here, right? Like there's music, there's laughter, there's insightful conversation, there's spiritual downloads, right? Like I think we have kind of gravitated to that holistic approach kind of naturally. And it's interesting like how others are kind of coming together and how we're kind of collecting those. It doesn't even feel like community didn't even feel strong enough. It felt deeper than that to me. I mean, I think that's the feeling that I'm getting also moving into this like MEA experience and something. It's like not even about friendship or tribe or community. It feels even more like there's an emergence that's happening, that there's this new emergence, and like tapping into it, being in that field is like really expansive. And yeah, I'm just
And I
really
think
looking
a
forward
lot of
to
people
seeing it.
are like really experiencing it right now. It's like each person I talk to has like their own little experience of this. And it's like kind of tapping into that collective of like, oh, I'm having this here and I'm having this there. And that piece of the quantum field does feel like it is in mass expansion. And like there also is this like feeling of possibilities of like what can be created from there. And where we can go for the next 50 years.
For the next 50 years. Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that it's normal to kind of waver and have like resistance when you're kind of moving into these things. I think we've always all experienced that. I think what's getting more solidified now as I'm kind of moving into this next decade is like the excuses are not as potent for me. Like I can still sense the resistance is there, but I'm like, who am I not to do this now? Like what excuses do I really have like not to do this, and um and because so many doors have been open for me, and because I've had so many blessings, so much privilege, so much success in so many different ways. It really feels critical to um, use whatever energy and talent and intelligence and resources that I have to do even more, which is how I feel like I'm kind of aligned with Chip. One of the things I admire about him is he doesn't have to be doing what he's doing. You know what I mean?
No, he could be retired and like drinking on the beach. Like he could literally be doing whatever he wants. And like the idea of this is what he's gonna do with the second half of his like life. I mean, this is his like third career, right? And
Yeah.
this idea of like stepping into like the purpose of it and all of those pieces and what purpose means not only to
Yeah.
him but to all the other people that he's like each step of the way that he's touching the humans.
And it feels really contagious. Like that's what I saw with a lot of these women, that they've exited from multi-million-dollar businesses, and they don't have to be there talking to us about how we can do what they did. That nobody has to be doing any of these things. The fact that people are volunteering to do these things, it feels even more motivational. It feels even more contagious, when you're surrounding yourselves by people that are um not kicking back and drinking margaritas. I mean, I did do that last weekend. We didn't talk about that, I don't think, did we? Or maybe we did.
But I think that it is like the space of like, is there that step into something next? Like retire. Like I think that the old way of doing things used to be this very much like do the job that sucks so that you can get to retirement and maybe you live for 3 more years or 5 more years, right? And now that's just like not the case. And then like, what purpose are you going to be able to have
Yeah.
and do and like bring into the world and share and
Well,
all
also
of
for
that?
people like us that we've lived a very unconventional life up until this point. So we didn't do the grind 9 to 5, live in misery
No.
for 40 years to get to retirement, right? So it's like, also like when we're at this point and we're like, okay, we've had a lot of personal freedom. We've tried a lot of businesses we wanted to try. We've,
And
explored,
I think we've both
traveled.
like worked a lot of stuff that has had a lot of purpose. So then it also feels like one, you can teach that purpose to others, but two, that like it's even more important to stay in it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really interesting. And the other thing I'll say is that I don't really think there's a blueprint for this. And one of the women that I met said, like, if there's not a blueprint, it's probably your calling to create it. You know, I think
Yeah.
that I don't feel like there's a clear blueprint for the next decade or the next few decades. I don't feel like that blueprint is really clear, especially with just like the changes that we're seeing culturally and politically and globally and whatever, we're facing challenges we never faced before, like both personally and then collectively. Like it's not clear to me that there is like a blueprint.
No.
But I mean, maybe part of the work that we're doing is to kind of set an example. Like, okay, here's one option. Here's one way you can do 50s, or here's one way, you can do midlife, that might potentially create, like, create value for other people that are looking for examples of like what to do and how to do it.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I think when you have not done the like normal thing all the way across the board, there used to be this sort of like, oh, well, you're the weird one, right? And
Yeah.
now a lot of those people are looking to us for answers on like, wait, how do I get to be a little bit more weird, right? Like wait, you weren't supposed to survive this, right? You were
Yeah.
supposed to do all these things, and it's like, well, I didn't do any of those things, and
Yeah.
like still here, still like doing and
Yeah.
here well, right? Like happy and healthy and feeling good and alive
Yeah.
and ready to do cool things. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, you guys, I don't know that we're going to get online again in the next couple days. Maybe we'll try to, if we have decent Wi-Fi, maybe we'll try to get online in New Mexico and give you a little tour of the spot that we're at. But thanks for hanging out with us for this month, and
if you
for
have
spending these
suggestions for Gabby for this 50th year, the things that she has to do, let us know.
50 things to do when you turn 50. Feel free to send me more ideas about things to do. Got about 3 days left here in my 40s. Thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you on the other side.
All right. Happy birthday, friend.
Thanks.